Hi, welcome to my video on circle graphs. Circle graphs are drawn based on 100%. You know that if you take 100% of anything, 100% is a 1. So all objects, everything, prices is 100%, 1. Each part or section is the percent of the total percent of 100. So all parts of the circle make up 100%. The sum of the sections is 100%. A circle with 3 sections can have 40, 50, and 10. 40 plus 50 is 90, plus 10 is 100. Or it could have a 60, 25, 15. 15 and 25 make 40. 60 and 40 make 100. If you have 4 sections or 5 sections, they will add up to be 100%. Number 1, find the missing percent in each circle. So we have circle A with 60, 30, and the unknown. So 60 plus 30 is 90, and 100% subtract 90% gives you 10. So this is 10%. B has 4 sections of 50%, 30%, 12%. If you add that up, you get a 2, 8 and 1 is 9, so that's a 92. 100 subtract 92 is 8. So the 4th section is 8%. A recipe for a cake requires 100 grams of ingredients. So a cake mixture is 30%. The egg is 16%. The chocolate chips is 25%. And we have 3 of these. Oats is the unknown. So if we add 6 and 5 make 11, carry your 1, 4, 5, 7, 71. So that means oats must be 100% minus 71%, which is 29. So oats is 29%. How many grams of oats are needed? Well, if we have 29% of the whole circle, therefore you take the 29% and you multiply it by 1,000 grams. 1,000. 29% to a decimal is decimal 29 times 1,000. When you multiply by 1,000, the decimal moves 3 places to the right, 1, 2, and 1 more 0. So that's easy to do without using a calculator. Okay, let's continue. Number 3, monthly budgets for a household is defined by a circle graph listed here. The bills for the household is 44. The food is 30%. The insurance is 10%. The savings is 8%. And we have miscellaneous. So, if that's the circle that represents the budget, if a monthly income is $4,000, how much is spent on miscellaneous? Well, in order to do the miscellaneous, we have to calculate the miscellaneous percent. So 44 for bills, 30 for food, 10 for insurance, and 8 for savings. If we add all that up, 8 and 4 is 12, then 2 and carry your 1, 5, 8, 9. So the 4 of them make up 90%. So 100 subtract the 92 gives 8. So miscellaneous is 8%. So that means 8% times the $4,000 will give you the amount that's gone into miscellaneous spending. 8% is decimal 0.8 because the decimal moves 2 places to the left, multiplied by 4,000. And 8 times 4 is 32, and we have 2 decimal places. So if we use a calculator, just to make sure, calculator, we have to turn it on, and we go, just to make sure, 4,000 times 8%, 4,000 times .08, and I get $320. So that's 8% of the budget, $328 for miscellaneous. Number 4, one rotation around a circle is, so if you leave here and travel all the way around the circle, you will do a rotation of 360 degrees. So no matter where you start, if you start here, anywhere, and come back to that point, you will make 360-degree rotation. So if you have section A is 30, section B is 45, we don't know what C is, so let's go and find what percent C is. 45 and 30 added up gives me 75. We have 100% altogether. Subtract the 75, and that gives me 25. Notice I'm not putting the percent symbols in. Just, you know what I'm meaning. State the number of degrees in each section. So C, this is section C, which is 25%. So let's put that in, because it adds up to 100. So A is 30%, so is 30% of the 360. B is 45% of the 360. And C is 25% times the 360. So if we work those out, we get 30% is decimal 30 times 360. So if I put my calculator here and work this out, I get 360 times decimal 3 or decimal 30, makes no difference. I'll get 108 degrees. And if I take the 45% and change it to a decimal and multiply it by 360 degrees, I get 360 times decimal 45, and I have 162 degrees. And C, 25% is decimal 25 times the 360 degrees. Notice degrees is understood. I didn't put them in, but you know what I'm talking about. So if I take 360 and multiply it by decimal 25, I get a 90. Now that makes sense, because 25% is 1/4 off the circle, and 1/4 of 360 degrees, 4 into 360 goes 90. So you can see that the 90% is 25% is 90 degrees. Okay, let's continue. Now we have a practice, and practice means you can go ahead, work these out to see if you, and play back to see if you have it right. Here we go. Each circle represents 100%. 100% represents each circle. We're not talking about the degrees of rotation around the circle, just that a circle represents 100%. State the percent for each blank section. Well, we have a 45, we have a 45, we have a 20. That makes 65. So 100 in total minus 65 gives 35 degrees. So the first blank section is 35. B has 4 sections. We have a 15, we have a 20, a 25. We add that up, we get a 0 and it's 6. So 100% subtract the 60 is 40. So the unknown section here is 40%. Remember, they all the percents adds up. For each circle adds up to 100. Number 3, the circle represents 150 colored marbles in a container. So a circle is representing the percentage of the colored marbles. So 50% is white, red is 30, and blue we don't know. And the question reads, how many blue marbles are in the container? Now we're not asked to find the white, so the red's just the number of blue marbles. So the white is 50, the blue is 30, so that adds up to be 80. And 100% minus 80% is 20. So the blue marbles is representing 20% of the 150. So the 20% of the blue marbles, 20% of the circle is blue marbles, so 20% of 150 gives me 20, decimal 20 times 150. And if you multiply that out again, that's 150 times decimal 2 or decimal 20, makes no difference. You get 30. So there are 30 blue marbles, 30 blue marbles in the box. Now, 50% of the marbles, 50% is a half. So a half the marbles would be 75. So I didn't ask you for the number of whites or blues, or whites or reds, sorry, just the number of blue marbles. Let's continue. Number 4, in May, 30,000 new vehicles were on the streets in a certain city. And it says, you can see the Toyota is 25, Ford is 27, GM is 19, Honda is 20, and the other makers of vehicles, the other makers, Nissan, Suzuki, all the other ones, and this is Canadian, as you can see, or American. This is find the number of other vehicles on the streets. So, let's see, if Toyota is 25, if Ford is 27, and GM is 19, and Honda is 19, they all add up to, let's see, 12 and 9 is 21, carry your 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. That means that we have 100 minus 81. So 19% is other. Now, that's 19%. So we have to take 19% of the total number of vehicles, which is 30,000. And 19% is decimal 19 times 30,000. So 30,000 times decimal 19, 30,000, 1, 2, 3, 4, times decimal 19, and we have 5,700. 5,700. So there's 5,700 other vehicles on the street. Okay, number 5. We have a circle which has a 40%, 25%, and 15%. So we want to find what A is. So if we take the 40, add on the 25, add on the 15, that's a 40, that's a 0, carry your 1, 5, 8. So 100 minus 80 is 20. So there's 20. A, this part of the circle, or section of the circle, represents 20%. So that means it's 20% times 360 degrees, because it's to state the number of degrees in section A. There's 360 all the way around, so we need 20% of it. So 20% is decimal 20 times 360. And if I use my calculator and type in 360 times decimal 20 or decimal 2, your choice, 72. So that means that section A is 72 degrees. And just to illustrate that, I have a protractor here, and let's measure. Let's see, let's measure section A. So we take our protractor, and we have to lay the center of the protractor, which is right here, right on the vertex of the angle. And then the protractor the angle has to be along this line right here. When I do, and I look it up, notice I'm on, there's no arm over here, so I'm rotating up here. So when I rotate up through here, coming up through. So that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So you can see that I'm, the drawing of it is a little bit off, but I'm close to the 70, 72 says here. So I'm pretty close to that. The angle is 72. If you like my video, then click on the like button, click on the subscribe button, and the notification bell. You can write a comment if you wish. And if you want, you may visit my website at www.mathfullyexplained.com. There you get information about me in one section, about the videos, the type of teaching strategies I'm going to use. You get a section on content that has the topics, that has the number of videos in each topic, and the black content. The black font is the topics completed. The red font is the topics that I'm going to complete in the future. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.